like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. There is a splattering of news, and it's really, most of it is quite Doctor Who adjacent. Most of the stuff I'm interested in is quite Doctor Who adjacent, but they started reluctantly, and it is so reluctantly, advertising Jodie's final episode. No, they haven't. I take that back. They started promoting No, they haven't done that. Doctor Who magazine started promoting it, and other outlets are reporting on Doctor Who magazine. That's basically the BBC not interested whatsoever. Finally, me and the BBC agree on something. Actually, you know what I am excited about? I just saw Survivor came back. I'm recording this on Thursday the 22nd. I just saw Survivor came back. I'm like, oh, I'm excited to watch that. Am I excited to watch Jodie Whittaker's finale as Doctor Who? No, I did a live stream last night, and I was talking about that. I'm a religious fanatic. I make no bones about the fact I might be right, I might be wrong. I don't know, right? But I am a religious fanatic, and I believe we're in the end of days, right? I believe that we have some kind of apocalyptic event coming very, 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 very soon. Now, when I say apocalyptic event, not kind of how what people imagine it. You know, I don't think there's going to be hellhounds strolling the streets, raping and murdering people. You know, I don't think that's going to be like, what's the name of that movie? Great movie. I love that movie. This is the end, right? No, but I think there will be, we are divided as a people, right? We are divided across the world. And one of the big areas of division is gender. Is it binary or is it a spectrum, right? I have my opinion. I'm not going to say my opinion here on YouTube, because YouTube are of the opinion it's a spectrum, and anybody who doesn't say that is evil and must be deplatformed, right? So, I think if there is an apocalypse, I think that's those sort of questions will be universally answered in a way that is irrefutable to everybody in the world. What if that actually happens, right? And again, I'm a religious fanatic, right? I'm not saying what I believe is true. I'm saying that it seems to be that's what we're lining up for in the very near future. How near a future? Well, yeah, I was doing a live stream last night. I was saying, I hope the apocalypse comes so we don't have to see Star Trek Discovery Season 5 or whatever it is. Will it come before Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who wears? I don't know. I think it's probably going to... Again, this is part of my Bible thumping life. I think that sort of thing is going to happen. Some kind of like... Exodus level event, right? A miraculous event that changes the world before Rusty Davis' Doctor Who happens. So let's say that happens, out of curiosity. Let's say it happens, and the whole world now understands that gender isn't a spectrum. What would they do with? Because I was thinking about this. I was listening to the Big Finish release, Doctor Who 40. Volume 2, which is very good. It's got a 6-part alternate story in it, and that's it, and it's very, very good. I like that a lot. It fits perfectly into the 5th Doctor's era. They really, really nail it. But during the making of, they're talking about recording it in lockdown. And it's such a foreign world, right? It seems so weird, like saying, we're not allowed to go out on a walk, or what. I mean, it just seems like such a different reality. We lived through it a couple of years ago, right? We were there. We were actually there. And it seems completely divorced from reality. So what happens if this apocalyptic revelation does happen? On a practical level, what's going to happen to Rusty Davis' Doctor Who? Is he going to reshoot Yasmin Finney? I don't know, but she will be pretty incongruous. If these religious prophecies, which have been playing out like clockwork over the last few years, continue to do so. So, I'm hoping for the apocalypse to come. Apocalypse to come will be much more interesting than Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, where they are desperately trying to drum up any buzz, right? But you can't generate buzz when there is none, right? The BBC are breathtakingly uninterested, and I think embarrassed, right? Breathtakingly uninterested and embarrassed of it for good reason. It's embarrassing trash. The front they put out about being it's stunning and brave, everybody loves it. No, all those narratives have just fallen apart, and I think they're just embarrassed about it, which makes it kind of funny to watch from my perspective. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at how they're desperately trying to promote this show when the person making it has no interest in promoting it, right? I always said of Christian and Jodie Whittaker, the absolute worst thing that can happen for them is they get the budget to make more of their Doctor Who and they show it publicly, right? And it's always embarrassing, isn't it, for them? It's always, I feel some kind of vindicating for me. But that's just the way I roll, baby. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very, very, very good. Thank you very much. I am genuinely grateful for everybody doing that. But if you like the current era Doctor Who, don't let my hatred of it impact upon you. Now, I really feel it is the opposite of Doctor Who, right? I feel the Doctor has to be, brilliantly intelligent, moral, and iconoclastic, right? And I feel Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is the opposite of that. She doesn't know what's going on. She's bumbling around. She's not very commanding at all, right? At all. And she's often the dumbest person in the room, right? And she always needs her friends to, like. They had one Dalek, and they had to have, about 12 companions try and throw it out the TARDIS. And what was her big job? Opening the doors, right? So I just feel that she lacks the agency, and the actress lacks the understanding of the role to be able to successfully portray. But if you love it, right? That's not a fact. That's my opinion, right? That's my opinion, which I think is pretty factual. But I still want an opinion. Don't let my opinion impact your loving it. And I am jealous of you for loving it, because boy, it's a face only a mother could love, is how I would describe it. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack, my email newsletter, link in the video notes. I put extra stuff in there all the time. Sign up my paid Substack. I don't put enough stuff in there, but also in the video notes. $5 a month, you can send me some money. I'm not gonna stop you, baby. I am not gonna stop you. Can't stop me now, which is how I feel about current Doctor Who. Fine, so let's look at these stories, shall we? Doctor Who debuts epic poster and images from the Power of the Doctor. It's not an epic poster. It's not an epic poster. It looks to me that the Power of the Doctor will be pretty squarely ripping off, what's it called again? Not the Dare of the Doctor, not the Name of the Doctor, the Time of the Doctor. Matt Smith's last one, where his regeneration was so big he weaponized it to wipe out all the Daleks, right? That's it looks like that's what it's gonna be. The Power of the Doctor is like this Artron energy which she had all of flowing through her body. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. I don't understand. Because Christian all seems to have two ideas. Bad ideas based around identity politics, and ripped off ideas with identity politics shoehorned into it. That's normally the type of ideas that Christian law has. So they debuted a poster, and it's much like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, deeply uninspiring, right? Just deeply, deeply uninspiring. BBC sci-fi series Doctor Who has debuted a new poster and first look images for the upcoming special, which were as part of the centenary celebrations, I think more commiserations. Oh, what have we done to the BBC? Sorry, we'll also feature Jodie Whittaker in the role of the 13th Doctor. Yes! Goodbye! Oh, don't let the door hit you on the way out. As a character is set to regenerate. So the two competing rumors that we've had is that she's going to regenerate into Tennant. And David Tennant went to Cardiff in, when was it, February, March, sometime around there, and the rumor was he filmed his insert for her to regenerate into him. The other rumor, which I believe more, but it's my bias, right? I want the second rumor to be true, that there is no connection between Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who and what Rusty Davies is going to be doing, right? She's going to regenerate and is going to go to a cliffhanger, fade to white. The rumor is that it fades to white or something like that, and the last thing you hear is the Master laughing. Master's laugh. And it's going to be a cliffhanger ending, and I think they're just going to forget about it, right? I think it's just going to be gone forever. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. See, I mean, look, I would much rather that than David Tennant appearing in the Jodie episode. I don't know. Would Rusty Davies be up for that, right? Would he be worried that David Tennant appearing in Jodie's finale would, rather than boost Jodie, would taint David Tennant. Could be. Really, really could be. Right? Mandigo and John Bishop will reprise their roles as companion Yasmin Khan and Dan Lewis, respectively, for the special. The poster appears to show the regeneration energy emerging from and teasing the Doctor's departure. Again, this is not awe-inspiring. If you're not looking at the screen, it's on the screen right now. It's not awe-inspiring in any way, shape, or form. Right? It's like, oh, it's the Doctor regenerating. And it seems very similar to the picture we had from the trailer from that turgid Sea Devil story. Man, those Sea Devils look cheap. Can I close that? That's better. Meanwhile, the BBC also released 4 images of much anticipated story. Old friends reunite. These are boring images, right? These are just boring images. We see the Cyberlords back. I quite like the Cyberlords. I have to tell you, I like the Cyberlords. I like the Lone Cyberman. I think the design of those are really, really good. I think the writing was terrible, but I think they had the most potential, right, of being closest to Doctor Who. So New Look Cybermen, and there's Tegan and Ace and blah blah blah. I got a couple of videos coming out over the next few days. It's the Jewish New Year, so I'm going to be offline. So I got videos going over Sophie Aldred's interview in Doctor Who magazine about her returning, and Tegan, Janet Fielding's interview as well. So go check those out. They'll be they'll be next week. So yeah, this is what qualifies as big news under Chris Chibnall. A poster. A dull poster, right? Oh God! How long till we see Shooty in costume and that logo gone forever? Right, that logo is going to be gone forever because everything that connects this era of Doctor that's connected to this era of Doctor Who is going to have to be flushed away because it's destroyed Doctor Who, right? It's absolutely and I think Rusty Davies understands that, even though ideologically he's very. Yeah, I think people in Rusty Davies' situation are in a strange place right now. There's a lot of like these lefty lovers, people who are in the acting community, in the creative community, and during the Trump years, the Brexit years, there was a loss of freedom of speech, right? The people were deplatformed, and they were like, yeah, because our tribe's winning, yeah. So now they're in this weird world where there is no freedom of speech, right? So when people have ideas like, say again, gender. Is gender a spectrum? Is gender a binary choice, right? When they have ideas that go against the orthodoxy of these younger people, they're not allowed to speak up and they're a bit freaked out about it, right? So that's just where we are. So I think that's where Rusty Davies might be, although I think AIDS, the AIDS tragedy, crisis, whatever you want to call it, deeply affected him for his entire life. Right, how the gay community was really screwed over by the establishment, right? And I think that's left a shadow over his entire life. And I don't think he can ever see any right-wing politician as not being of that, evil, I want to destroy your community type of person. Even though, I mean, if you look at these things honestly, look at America. The Biden administration represents fascism more so than any other administration ever in the history. I mean, that I know of the United States. Really disturbing how they weaponize the Department of Justice and Department of Records. Everything's been weaponized. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. But I don't think he can see that, right? Having said that, I think he can see the ratings, and I think he wants it to be successful. Anyway, another next story. Look, this is kind of a minor throwaway story yet. We detested each other. Christopher Eccleston in his relationship with Mark Strong. I'm really surprised about this, right? Because to me, this seems a little bit unprofessional for him to talk about a colleague and saying how much he didn't like a colleague, right? So I was always impressed with Rusty Davies about was when in 2005 when it came back, he was out there banging on the drum promoting Doctor Who. And they had this show going over all the previous eras of Doctor Who, some of which were a little bit ropey. He had glowing praise for everyone. I've never heard him speak badly about another. I'm sure he has, right? I never heard him speak badly about another person. Certainly not about another professional. I think the only thing we're ever going to hear from Rusty Davies is glowing praise for the Chibnall era, even though, from what I understand, he detests it, right? That's the rumor which I very much believe because I've heard it from many many directions, right? I think he's, but I don't think you're ever going to hear anything negative about it. So it makes me kind of surprised that he's talking about this. The pair acted along each other in the 90s BBC drama Our Friends in the North. Now, I missed Our Friends in the North. I left England in late 91, right? December 91. Doctor Who was off the air. What's the point of staying, really? But he didn't let personal feelings get in the way of professionalism. Well, you are now, right? I don't understand why you're having this conversation now. It's weird. Chris Radcliffe has revealed that he and ex-colleague and actor Mark Strong once hated each other. The pair acted alongside friends and all, blah, blah, blah. The series aired in 96, also featured well-known actors called David Bradley. Daniel Craig was there, didn't know that. Gina McKee. Here's the story of four friends living in Newcastle over 30 years and was adapted from a play written by Peter Flannery. This sounds good. I really got to check it out. Eccleston played the character Nicky Huntsman. Not Huntsman. Who's Nicky Huntsman? That sounds somebody. Is that a politician? Could be. I don't know. Nicky Hutchinson, while Strong played Tosca Cox, forming two of the main four characters. We detested each other. Like, why are you talking about this? We really didn't like each other at all. Eccleston told the BBC of his relationship with Strong in a recent interview. When we did scenes together, that just which was a key which was keeping Tosca and Nicky, was put aside. He added, we were professional, we weren't sabotaging. Okay, I don't think you were sabotaging, but he goes on to say it was essentially like going to an office and somebody that you don't like. Weird story. I've been going around for a couple of days, so I figured, yeah, put that one in, why not? Next story. Okay, this is Doctor Who adjacent. It's Neil Gaiman supports defends GMS's Babylon 5 reboot series efforts. Okay, so I like Neil Gaiman a lot. Don't get me wrong. I liked his work. I've always liked his work. I think as a human being, he's probably a decent person, right? From what I can tell, it seems to be like a moral, decent person. But boy, his head is lost in the insanity of the day, right? So at first, he did his Sandman show, which casts a very, very black woman playing Death, right? And he pretended, there's no reason. This is weird. No, the character was very white. That's the reason it was weird. And it came from a family, the Endless, of all very white characters, apart from Death now, which is weird. And he, the Death was black in the issue of Sandman. Yes, I know, when it was in a black culture. That was something cool about it, right? That the Endless would reflect the culture that they were communicating with. That's something very, very cool. Now, they did a couple of race swaps and gender swaps in Sandman. Only one of them worked. Jenna Coleman playing Constantine. Why did that work? It's because she developed a new character. You know what she needed to do to develop a new character? Change the outfit. If she put on a different coat and a different sweater. And that was it, right? And it was a new character. Death and Lucian, the other character, they race and gender swap, was kind of just wearing the hand-me-down, sloppy seconds of white characters, and it just didn't really work. I mean, she performed admirably, the actress, but it just didn't really work. So then he went on a bit of a tear saying anybody doesn't like the new Lord of the Rings. Oh, they're just silly. Oh, silly, wasted sexist. You don't like black orcs? Elves, not orcs. You don't like black halfers? Oh, you're just silly people. Oh, racist. Stuck in your way. It's shit now, right? What you defended was unwatchable shit, right? With an insufferable cunt as the main character. With terrible dialogue and terrible plotting. And characters like some man boobs. That's the name I'm giving him, obviously. The captain of a Numenor ship in this awful portrayal performance by Morford Clark about being breathless all the time, just being a nightmare, like an absolute nightmare to be around. So now it's talking about Babylon 5 being rebooted. I'm not really thrilled, really. I like Babylon 5 a lot. I think Babylon 5 got kind of screwed out of having its 5 seasons. season 5 was a bit of shit because they finished it in season 4. Right, they did those specials, and those specials were great. Oh my god, a lot of them were really, really good. And I used to love, they had these when he went to TNT, the cable channel, you had Jacquard, who was it? Greek actor, guy who played the one-armed man in the Harrison Ford's Fugitive. I can't remember his name, but he had these wonderful soliloquies that he would do with like these 30-second ads, just bristling with energy, right? Fan-freaking-tastic. So I love Babylon 5, right? I love it. That is being rebooted in 2022. Oh, please don't. Like, the James Bond people are like saying, we're starting a very slow process to find the new James Bond. Take as long as you like, mate. Wait till after the apocalypse before you cast your James Bond, right? Because then we can have Tom Hiddleston play James Bond. Tom Hiddleston, the only actor who can play Doctor Who and James Bond very, very, very well. I think Tom Hiddleston is the way to go for James Bond. Why? Because he's very different from Daniel Craig. He's sexy, he's suave, he's charming, and so he could be, if Daniel Craig was a modern interpretation of Sean Connery's take on the role, then Tom Hiddleston could be a modern take on the Roger Moore Bond, and I would love that, right? Having said that, let's get back to the story. Yesterday, J. Michael Straczynski took to Twitter to rally Babylon 5 fandom for an important cause. It took up, it looks like the end of the month could be a decision time for JMS's from the ground up reboot pilot of for the CW. And while it's not going to get made, CW is on a death spiral. And while the decision may appear to rest solely on the shoulders of incoming new CW owners Nexstar Media Group, Warner Brothers Television also is a major player in the decision making. So both companies were seeing a whole lot of hashtag B5 on CW in 23 hashtags going on. One of the people throwing their support behind it, JMS, was Neil Gaiman, clearly taking a break from keeping the Sandman fans' nerves calm about the second season. Second season rewrites for was it? And doing rewrites on the scripts for Amazon Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2. Don't bloody bother. Really? Oh, don't bother. Man. Okay, Jeff Bezos. Okay, I know you watch my channel, mate. I know you watch my channel. This is what you need to do to fix Lord of the Rings. You need to get everybody in charge of it, right? All the people who made it. You get them in a room, right? And you say, I want to give one quick message to everybody. You're fired! Yeah, because they have done shit. They're doing a second season is beyond me. Along with being a fan, Gaiman also penned the fifth season episode Dare the Dead, which was the best episode of that season. Directed by Doug Leafer and guest starring Penn and Teller. Mitchell Penn and Teller, Rebo and Zudi. I remember. Yeah, that was a good one. So his opinions carries serious B5 weight, but much like much like he had to deal with it for the Sandman, Gaiman also found it having to defend JMS's efforts for diehard fans. The original series aren't going to be supporting a new series in a new universe. Again, it's not from casting black people. It's not from doing that. It's from casting black people because you are devoid of talent, right? So J. Michael Straczynski, he's a known entity, right? I will be happy to see what he's got to do. If you love Babylon 5, then the idea of new Babylon 5 content should be as excited as it makes me. I love the idea of hashtag B5 in 2020. Yes, I agree. So that's when the fan of the original series called into question JMS's attempt to a new series, implying the series would somehow hurt the series they've grown to love. What do you mean somehow? We've seen it happen over and over again. Right, I did a review. I recorded a review yesterday of the Doctor Who, the Abominable Snowman, the last of the animations. Though, yeah, if you don't know, it'll be strange you're watching this video. You don't know. A bunch of old Doctor Who episodes were junked in the early 70s, so they're lost forever. Right. So to recreate them, they've been doing these animated versions of them. for a number of years. And they did one, then stopped for a number of years, and they did another batch, and then they stopped, and then they started again. Well, that's just ended. It just ended because the Doctor Who fandom can't afford it anymore. Has shrunk so much. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who has shrunk Doctor Who fandom so much it just cannot support this anymore. So yes, it might well indeed hurt the initial. Although really, what's doing with Babylon 5 anyway? Honestly, I would much rather see a remastered Babylon 5 in HD, right? I'd much rather see that on Deep Space Nine as well. Oh, I'd love to see HD Deep Space Nine. Not everything needs to be remade, rebooted, revamped, or reimagined, the person wrote, okay? Making the argument that being remembered for what you were in the original should be good enough. It should be, right? I mean, sometimes it's great. Battlestar Galactica, fantastic, right? Upfront, Gaiman stated that he understood that perspective. But JMS's situation is different because he's the one currently creating the show's universe. As I said, Neil, you created a Sandman universe, and you had to have this wokeness with death in it, you know. Basically, it's a work of art being given further developed by artists, as Gaiman effectively pointed out, not being reimagined by committee. Okay. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens, right? But like, I'm not happy to see anything being made in 2022. It's all bad. Everything's bad. JMS first revealed the pilot had not been picked up, but that Pedowitz spoke to him to confirm the pilot was still active development back in February. JMS began his update by referencing the biggest news surrounding the CW over the past couple of weeks and how it would play a factor in how many pilots and what sort could be picked up in transition. That transition is rumored to be the rumored sale of network by Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Global to Nexstar. Pre-existing deals and prior commitments would then play heavily into that decision making. After realizing that Babylon 5 pilot had not been picked up, JMS shared the outreach that Pedowitz did on the pilot status. I received a call from Mark Pedowitz, president of CW. I should mention that Mark is a great guy and a long-time B5 fan. Okay. He worked for Warner's when the show was first airing, and always made sure we got him copies of the episodes before they aired because he didn't want to wait to see what happened next. Okay, so he's a real fan of it. I mean, I'm glad he has support, but like again, you're in a sea of insanity, mate. Right? JMS, we were calling the pilot damn fine script. I'm sure it was, right? I'm sure it was. He said he'll be taking the highly unusual step of rolling the project and pilot script into next year, keeping B5 in active development while the dust settles over the sale of the CW. So it's a series proposed focused on John Sheridan, Bruce Boxleiter in the original series. Well, yeah, they had to replace Kamala Sinclair. What was his name? I liked his voice. He had a really good voice, but he had some kind of like mental breakdown shortly thereafter, after the first season, and was replaced by Bruce Boxleiter. But you know what I liked about Babylon 5? It was always a little show that could, right? It was the underdog. It held its own against Star Trek. Good for it. An Earth officer with a mysterious background who was assigned to Babylon 5, a 5-mile-long spaceship in neutral space, a protocol for travelers, smugglers, corporate explorers, alien diplomats, and at a time of uneasy peace, a constant threat of war. His arrival triggers a Desi that beyond anything that he could imagine as an exploratory Earth company accidentally triggers conflict with a civilization millions of years ahead of us, putting Sherry and the rest of the B5 crew in the line of fire as the last best hope for survival of the human race. Okay, I trust J. Michael Straczynski to produce a good script. I don't trust good TV to be made in this current age. And you know, I just watched Ander, 3 episodes of boredom with that. Man, that was dull. That was really, really, really dull. Also strangely dull is Doctor Who Power of the Doctor, right? So we got a couple of stories over here. We got this covered. Doctor Who diehards convinced themselves that Karen Gillan is teasing her return for the 60th anniversary. Interestingly enough, we found out from the Sophie Aldred and the Janet Fielding interviews that they were told this was the centenary. Power of the Doctor was the 60th anniversary. See, here's the trouble, right? They've already branded it as a centenary special. They're going to have a lot of work rebranding it as the Power of the Doctor because they didn't bother to put the bloody title out. And how is that title a spoiler? I mean, really? I mean, they should have called it the shit of Chibnall, and it wouldn't have been a spoiler at all. So they don't like Karen Gillan coming back. She's too good looking, too gender normative, I think. Although Jodie Whittaker hasn't even regenerated yet, it's fair to say Doctor Who fans thought preoccupied what's coming in the Who universe next year. Yes, because we hated this. 2023, the 6th anniversary, alongside Rusty Davis, blah blah blah, Catherine Tate, David Tennant, blah blah blah. But has another beloved face been returning in TARDIS announced their involvement in the 6th celebrations. Fans have certainly convinced themselves that's the case when Karen Gillan has shared a video of herself wearing an owl pattern sweater on Instagram. She seems incongruous enough, right? Okay. But you would think the Whovian detectives speculating that her post has a deeper meaning when compared to the other social media updates from Davis and director Rachel Talalay. So she's wearing an owl sweater. Rachel Talalay has a owl on a clapperboard, and Rusty Davis has a picture next to an owl. Maybe it does mean something. I don't know. Classic Companions return. Honestly, I see a return for the 60th being very viable. I see Matt Smith coming back for the 60th, very viable, right? I think the only reason we only know about David Tennant and Neil Patrick Harris and Catherine Tate and Berta Cribbins, because they were all filmed in public. I think a lot more went on in private, right? A lot more went on in private, which is actually going to be genuinely exciting. When are we going to see Ncuti as a Doctor? My guess, Christmas 2023. That's what I'm... that's what I think is the most likely right now, right? Christmas 2023. Fine. But before that, in a scant few weeks, even though you wouldn't know it from the BBC's marketing department or Chris Chibnall, we have the centenary special, The Power of the Doctor. Let's have a look at that. Every Doctor Who star rumoured and confirmed for Jodie Whittaker's finale. You know, it'd be great if they put so many Doctor Who stars in it they didn't have time for Jodie. It's so funny. Like, you see 3 doctors like doing a skit, right? And they're like posing in the fake T-shirts. They're doing a skit, right? They look more doctorous than the current Doctor with a hand on a hip saying, "Oh, Keith up. Oh, I'm gonna give you a bit of a mother scolding. Oh, aye." Jodie Whittaker's final adventure will celebrate 100 years of the BBC, 100 years and 10 years of complete 3/4 disaster. Bringing along a host of familiar faces from Doctor Who's history. Again, because that one face, Jodie's face, can't really do much on her own other than repel viewers, right? It hasn't gone well, has it? Let's be fair. The Power of the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker's final episode of Doctor Who, with a feature-length farewell, 90 minutes. Oh, fuck me, no, 90 minutes. This is the kidney stone of Doctor Who episodes. We must pass it to move forward. We'll feature a feature-length 13. We'll feature the return of characters from across the whole history of the show, as well as bringing the Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall era to a close. Thank God. As well as bringing Jodie, the finale will also celebrate 100 years of the BBC, which has produced Doctor Who since '63. In recognition of continuing celebrations, the episode will feature numerous cameos that bridge the gap between Doctor Who's current and classic eras. Man, I hope it doesn't. I mean, like, I guess we're going to see them all win it. I mean, I guess. Let's see what they got to say. The trailer at the end of The Legend of the Sea Devils. Oh, that was awful. Confirmed the return of Sasha Deman's Master. Really? Okay, the shit supervillain Time, Doctor Who Flux confirmed it, said, "Beware your enemies, Doctor," or whoever, and their master. I mean, really, it's as subtle as being hit in the face with a sock full of human excrement, really. Which, quite frankly, somebody should have done to Chris Chibnall when he suggested Jodie Whittaker for the role. Just get a sock, fill it with human excrement, twiddle it around so it doesn't fall out. Go, smack him in the face, and say, no. Of course, I am not advocating violence. That was a comedic interlude, okay? Comedic interlude. Do not commit acts of violence, especially with socks full of human excrement, okay? But I'm just saying, in an era of absolute justice, it feels all right to me. So the Master, the Daleks, Cybermen will all feature. The Cybermen design was one of the biggest successes of the Chibnall era. One of the only success of the Chibnall era. 33rd will celebrate past, present, and future Doctor Who. Chibnall has assembled a formidable cast of old friends to support her in her final hour of need. Every hour's been an hour of need for this Doctor. Oh, God. It includes 2 classic 1980s companions, but there were many more cameos rumoured for the finale. So one rumour which I really do quite like is that when they found out this wasn't the 60th anniversary, a bunch of returning people, including doctors, including Peter Davison, let's be clear, asked to be removed or written out or minimised. Joining the 13th Doctor in the final will also be companions Yaz Mandeville and Dan outing John Bishop. Was it Dan Lewis? I think, yeah, Dan Lewis. John Bishop will also presumably be departing the TARDIS. Bye. By the end of the adventure, it's hoped that they'll get happy endings. Ooh, listen, if you could guarantee me, I will get a happy ending watching your shit Doctor Who, I still wouldn't watch it, right? I do watch it to cover it on the channel, right? But really, even that wouldn't move the bar. It's hoped that they'll get happy endings, but the Doctor's arch nemesis, the Master, involved. Audiences shouldn't hold their breath. After all, it was the Master who converted the 12th Doctor's beloved companion Bill Potts, Pearl Mackie, into a Cyberman in season 12, episode 11, World Enough Time. Brilliant. Man, what a freaking awesome cliffhanger. I love that episode, right? The World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls. And also, what was it? What was this last, the Christmas special, The Time of the Doctor? What was it called again? Yeah, I'm going to look this up. Wait, let me. 1 second. I had to do, Doctor Who episode guide. There we go. I'm not looking at my phone just because it's here in front. Well, even better. I'm just looking at my bloody hard drive. Look at my computer. I got the entire Doctor Who laid out, ready to go. Think. 12. Series 10. Twice Upon a Time. Okay, yeah, Twice Upon a Time. I like that too. Family and Doctor and her friends will have the formal support of an extensive list of old friends. Here's everyone that's been confirmed or rumoured to return to help the Doctor, Yaz, and Dan defeat the Master. Gemma Redgrave with Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Kate Stewart. I've never really liked the modern unit. I'll be frank. It's never really worked for me. Kate Stewart last seen facing, and she was totally useless in Flux. She was basically just there to have her house blown up and talk to Osgood, right? Kate Lethbridge Stewart was last seen facing off against the Grand Serpent's global conspiracy during Doctor Who Flux. It's been confirmed to return for the centenary. It's unclear whether she'll be able to repair the damage done when the Grand Serpent laid waste to unit. Oh God, I remember that. In the recent Doctor Who audio spin-off Redacted, which has thankfully been memory hold. Doctor Who Redacted was freaking awful, right? It's about 3 trans women. I think they have penises, I'm not sure. 3 trans women who, I don't know, but they were all about, everything was about them being trans, right? And they were just the most obnoxious narcissists in the entire universe. What a shock. What a shock you'll be an obnoxious narcissist when you say physical reality doesn't apply to me because I'm too special. It's confirmed the unit was still in operation, featuring scenes set inside the Black Archive and a guest appearance from Ingrid Oliver as Osgood. Unit are also due to appear in the 60th anniversary special, so it's highly likely the organisation will be at full strength. Again, don't connect the 6th anniversary to this current Doctor Who. Jacob Anderson as Vinder, confirmed. Yeah, well, I mean, this is going to be the Doctor's parents, father, I guess, right? The rumour is that Vinder and Bell will have the child left by the portal in the timeless... whatever the bullshit is, I can't even bloody remember. Oh, God. But, man, may I help you cast your mind back to, when was this? Virtual Comic-Con 2021. A week before Jodie Whittaker and Christian announced their departure. Shortly before Russell Davies announced his return. Shortly before Doctor Who Flux, and they could have talked about that. What were they excited about? What was Chris Chibnall excited about? Beginning Jacob Anderson as Vinder. Why was he excited about Jacob Anderson as Vinder? Because clearly they had to have somebody to replace Captain Jack, who's persona non grata at the BBC, because the BBC are, and now we're going to use the technical term, right? The technical term. The BBC are cunts. Absolute cunts. There was a very good book called The Life and Scandal of Times of John Nathan Turner, and one chapter heading would talk about his eventual demise at the BBC was the BBC never forgive those that they've wronged, right? And they're never going to forget John Barrowman because they have wronged him, right? And they are embarrassed, and because they are spineless, ballless cunts. Spineless and ballless, depending if they're male or female. Doesn't matter, they're all spineless and ballless. So Jacob Anderson returning as Vinder. He was one of the recurring characters in Flux, a former guardian of the Grand Serpent, whose life was ruined when he blew the whistle on the villain's many crimes. Didn't really help, did it? Flux set up Jodie Whittaker's final adventure when the temporarily corporal form of time in the guise of the Doctor told her, nothing is forgiven, no regeneration, no life. Now, fuck off, Jodie. No, she didn't say that, but wouldn't that be great? It makes sense. Therefore, bring back Vinder for the final story. Yeah, look, his story wasn't finished. Right? They went out to explore a mostly destroyed universe because they didn't fix the stuff from Flux. And he also rumored to be the father of the Timeless Child. Fine. Yeah, because Belle's super pregnant. Obviously. Patrick O'Kane as a lone Cyberman. Listen, do you remember in Game of Thrones when that first series, by the way, new thing, House of Dragon, very good. You had Arya Stark with that one guy, John Doe, whatever his name was. And they had this really good relationship, and he liked him, and at the end he's one of the faceless men. He turns away and he turns back, and he's now a different person. It was Patrick O'Kane, right? He was a different person. So I mean, listen, I think this was quite a good idea. The lone Cyberman. I love the rustedness of it. It's just a shame it was shit, right? It's just a shame it was written for shit. Last scene being shrunk by the Master on a ruined Gallifrey. Ashdad, the lone Cyberman, also confirmed. By the way, Master's tissue compression eliminated makes people too small. It's not scary. The lone Cyberman has also confirmed the return of Centenary Special. Unclear how the lone Cyberman survived. His tissue being compressed by the Master. Who gives a shit? The Doctor has been warned of the forces that mass against her, so it's hardly surprising. One of the most memorable villains from her era. Yeah, look, they're not bringing anybody back from season 11, are they? Are they going to bring back the fearsome Tim Shaw? God. Bradley Walsh's Graham and Bryant rumoured are almost guaranteed, right? Almost guaranteed. Bradley Walsh was photographed out on location on the Doctor Who Centenary Special. Yeah, they can't call it Power of Doctor. Right, it's been branded as Centenary Special now. They're going to have to work hard to get that out of people's minds, and they're not going to get it out of people's minds. But he hasn't yet been officially confirmed. He's not going to be. It's going to be a shock. Oh, who cares? These revelations only work if it's a show that people care about. No one gives a shit about this Doctor Who because it is shit. Graham will return for the final adventure, probably for a cameo, assembling a group of former companions to help her final battle. His grandson, Ryan Tosin Cole, is unlikely to feature, given the actor's role in the AMC's 61st Street. However, the notion of an assembled group of Earthbound Doctor Who companions would explain the return of the two classic 80s companions. Yeah, okay, I mean, that's feasible. Sophie Aldred as Ace. One of the big surprises in the teaser trailer for the centenary was Sophie Aldred as Ace. Aldred was last seen in the classic era, appearing as Ace 31 in 31 episodes of Doctor Who from 87-89. They are 25-minute episodes, so yeah, whatever. However you want to measure it. Ace has extensive life after Doctor Who and spin-off media, novels, comic strips, blah, blah, blah. Pete Matigue reintroduced her as like little ad for season 26 Blu-ray set, I think. The mini episode introduced charitable organization, A Charitable Earth, which also featured the 13th Doctor novel, At Childhood's End, written by Sophie Aldred. It is likely, therefore, a charitable Earth will play a role in Jodie Whittaker's final adventure. And again, you're not raising up Jodie, you're bringing down Sophie, right? That's what's happening. You can't really bring down Janet Field. Again, Janet is just such a idiot, bullshit woman, right? Who has no clue what she's talking about. You said on social media, oh, you dinosaurs may just want to look back at the past, but we want to move forward. If that was the case, more people would watch this Doctor Who rather than jump out the window or on a 12-story building to then watch it when it comes on. Joining Sophie Aldred is another commander from the 80s, Janet Fielding, who returns as Doctor Who's Tiga Javanka. She was an accidental passenger, blah, 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 left in 84. The Doctor Who 40 box set with the alternate infinity, very good, goes directly into Resurrection of the Daleks and really works as a Tegan story for that. Stating that travelling with the Doctor wasn't fun anymore after witnessing brutal Dalek massacre. Oh, that is fair. It'll be interesting to see how this is addressed in the Centenary Special. They're not going to mention it. But perhaps Tegan has chosen to focus on good times she's had with the Fifth Doctor rather than considerable hardships she's faced with her travels in the TARDIS. Katie Manning as Jo Grant. I give this quite a high probability, right? I give it because she's alive. Katie Manning, who previously returned of Jo Grant in the Russell Davies spin-off series Sarah Jane Adventures, with Liz Sladen and Matt Smith, speculating about Katie Manning's potential appearance in the Centenary Special has been growing since the return of Ace and Tegan at the end of Legends of Sea Devils, with the rumours of Graham assembling a team of companions to defeat the Master. Joe's, yeah, I can see her being in a cameo. William Russell, I mean, he was in Adventures in Space and Time, so. Again, I think it's reasonable, right? Yeah, I mean, he has not enough of a career that they would be taken that he would be able to appear. They should have got Peter Purves in somehow. I don't know, where is he? Peter Purves ended up. He left in the Savages, right? There's some great. Oh my God! See, here's the thing that annoys me about Big Finish. They got so much great content that they don't realize. They have a trilogy of Stephen Taylor audio stories, Companion Chronicles, that show his life after leaving the TARDIS, and it's really good, right? It's Peter Purves, excellent, really, really excellent in those. So Ian Chesterton and fellow teacher Barbara White, Jacqueline Hill, the very first companions. While Jacqueline Hill sadly passed away in 1993, William Russell still recalls a Big Finish 5th anniversary, briefly name-checked as the current governor of Coal Hill School. I forgot about that, where Clara worked in the short-lived 2016 spin-off Class. What was the deal with Class, right? It seemed to me everybody who went to school in Coal Hill was about 35. It looked like the Please Sir movie, right? It was very weird. But it would be a beautiful way to tie both eras together. It was a smart idea. Dave Bradley rumoured... yes. One of the rumours I hear is that Joe Martin's Doctor is going to regenerate into Dave Bradley's Doctor. God, leave me alone. Last scene of Capaldi's final episode, Once Upon a Time, not Once Upon a Time, there's something else Chibnall ripped off. Basis for apparent sighting of the actor in Cardiff and some fellow Doctor Who actors, given friendship between the actors. I mean, he was in Broadchurch. It makes sense. However, if the special brings the TARDIS story to its close, the future Doctor regenerating the first canonical, incarnation of the Doctor, I see that likely. Oh, and I want them to do as much as they can to make this not Doctor Who, right? I really would like them to do that. Jo Martin and the future Doctor, if she's not in it, that's going to be outrageous, right? Outrageous. Doctor Who Flux seemingly ended the Timeless Child arc by having the 13th Doctor hide a fob watch. That didn't end it, you idiot! That postponed it for this episode! With all the memories of the billions of incarnations, none of them were white or male, of the Doctor she's forgotten about. We're probably going to see the United Colours of Benetton Doctors. David Tennant, I hope not! Oh, please, no. Can it just look? It makes sense, but I hope not. I hope there's no connection, right? No connection. Peter David and Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy as Time Lords. Oh, not as Doctor. I haven't heard this rumor before. Most intriguing rumor surprising Jodie Whittaker's final episode is that it'll feature appearance of the three 1980s Doctor, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy, but they won't be reprising the roles of the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctor. However, the rumor suggests they'll be playing Time Lords in the special. I haven't heard this rumor. Oh, that's interesting. Doctors Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy were apparently seen enjoying a meal with Dave Bradley at the time the Centennial special was wrapping, leading to speculation return. Peter Davison has previously returned to the role alongside his real-life son-in-law, David Tennant. However, it also brings along his 80 successors, the Time Lords. Doctor Who can brilliantly honour the past by having these classic Doctor scenes with she bows out the classic role. So I don't know. I haven't heard that room before. I don't know. But really, I think most importantly, I don't really care. Do you care? If you care, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you care at all. I really don't. I just want it over, right? Oh God, it's just like a slow motion car crash, isn't it? Oh God. Look, the problem that with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who is much like Lord of the Rings on Amazon. It's got an awful lead, right? And I'm sorry, Jodie, you just haven't been very good in this role. You just haven't understood it at all. I guess you thought you were a woman, so that's all you really needed to break the glass ceiling. Turns out you actually needed a bit of thought and work and talent, none of which has been on display in your entire era of Doctor Who, which to my mind has not had one believable female character. So there you go, bit of NewsWarp for you for a Friday. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Yeah!